Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eden, and in this video, we're gonna set up a high-tech Caridina shrimp tank. This is by far the nicest shrimp tank we've set up to date. We've got a beautiful Aquascape rimless aquarium, a nice powerful light, and this is by far the most filtration we've ever put in a shrimp tank. We set it up with the TGOE cycle method, and we've got a beautiful scape done by our very own Shelby K. So let's get started and show you how we set it up. All right, now to get started, we have this Aquascape 60. It's a 17.2 gallon aquarium, rimless aquarium from Aquascape, and let's just dive right into the box here. I really love the packaging. It's got a Madagascar lace plant on it. That might end up in this tank. Never know. We've got the foam mat, and then inside the box, we've got some papers as well as this rimless aquarium that we're going to carefully get out of the box now. So Shelby will give me a hand. All right, so here it is out of the box. It does have like a paper layment underneath the aquarium. We just left that on for added protection. I do like how the mat is cut perfectly to fit the size of the aquarium, so there's no extra trimming and no loose gaps on the side. And then they did wrap the tank really nice. It was a little hard to get it out of the box, but I'd rather that there be no scratches and everything taken care of appropriately. So I really like how this tank was boxed up and packaged. So here is the aquarium. Now let's get the light. And here we have it, the ultra slim 60-watt aquarium light. It looks a little bit bigger than the tank, but I believe they just packaged it extra nice so that way nothing gets damaged. The box isn't damaged, and I believe the light is going to be the perfect fit for this aquarium. All right, so we got the light out of the box. The directions are on the back of the box. There's two different methods. There's one to hang the light above the tank or one to mount the actual light to the tank, and that is the method that we are going to use. So you want to start off by grabbing one of the metal rods that are bent in a U shape, and then you're going to need a plastic clip as well as one of the plastic brackets. This is actually what's going to sit on the aquarium, so you're going to want to start off with this and actually take the metal rod and put it through the plastic, get it slid down, and then the other little plastic piece is going to go over the top of that. And then you've got one of these little caps, and that is going to tighten on the other plastic part that sits on the actual aquarium itself. And then by adjusting this and loosening it, you can make the light taller or shorter on the aquarium. To start off, we are going to raise the lights pretty high to avoid any algae in the beginning of the cycle. So you have one side done, and then these are going to sit on the other side of the clip like so, and those go into this side of the light. But now seeing how high that is, probably going to lower it so it's a little more stable, and I think it doesn't need to be that high actually. And right there is going to be good, and then we'll just make sure the other side is level and on point. All right, so we got the brackets on the tank. Everything looks about level. Now we just got to get the actual light on the tank itself. All right, so we got the light on the mount. It was a bit of a two-person situation because of the countertop in our way, but it looks really nice. Let's get her plugged in here.
Shelby here to interrupt to show you how to download and use the app for the light. First, open your app store, type in Aqua LBT, and hit install. Once downloaded, click the app, then click that magnifying glass in the bottom right. Your device should show up at the top. If it does not, make sure Bluetooth is on and that you're close enough to the device. Click that device and hit Add Selected Device. If your phone is like mine, it might need to update. Once you're done updating, you can click on that light and be able to go into the device settings and choose your light. You have fixed modes where they're plant, sunny, marine, and custom. In the custom, you can mess with the red spectrum, the white, and the blue. We are going to stick with the plant mode for this aquascape. They also have a D and N mode that you can click on, and you can choose your sunrise start and your sunrise end, and then also how long it takes for the brightening and dimming of those times at the bottom. Now, all these products from Aqua L in this video will be available on our website, tgoeshrimp.com.
Now we've got our blank canvas, so that way we can get this thing simply aquascaped, so it's not too much. We can still cull all the shrimp, but it still looks great and has a lot of nooks and crannies that are perfect for the pregnant female shrimp and the babies to grow up and feel a little stress-free in. So let's get to that. All right, so it's been a couple days, and that's because Shelby built this beautiful hardscape here out of spider wood and black lava stone, and we used a little bit of filter floss and super glue to piece it all together. Before we place it into the aquarium though, we're gonna add a layer of substrate for protection before we do the detail work. All right, so now it's time to add the substrate. For us, our gold standard, and it has been for a long time, is the Rio Oscuro, the Brightwell volcanic substrates here. We've got the medium grade size, and so we're gonna add this to the tank now. And you can tell it's fresh. There's a lot of moisture built up on the side of the bag. Just got it. Hasn't been sitting. There wasn't any pinholes or anything like that. That's really important. And we're gonna add in a good size layer here, sloping it from the back to the front. Woo! Of course, I'm gonna make a mess. And then we'll see if we need more after we throw in the hardscape. All right, now the moment of truth. Gotta lower this thing in. All right, it's in there. All right, so once you have the substrate in, you wanna make sure you keep it nice and damp. You don't want it to dry out and then it'll start to break down and turn to mud once you have its hardscape.
And now it's time to add the detail hardscape. You really want to make sure you cover up any of the glue spots, any of the imperfections from the rock work or anything like that. So covering up all those fine little nooks and crannies and making the final scape really come together. And now it's time for some plants. The first one we're gonna add is a needle leaf Java fern. This is a great slow growing plant, not gonna need a lot of maintenance, and it works perfect for this simple shrimp setup with a beautiful hardscape. Followed up by some Bucephalandra. Not gonna try and pronounce the name of this, so name down below, but this is also a really slow growing plant. Not really ever gonna need to trim up or maintenance this whatsoever. And so that's going to do it for now for the plants for this tank. We are going to add in the Madagascar lace plant, but we're going to let the tank run just a little bit before we add those. And now you want to get that tank filled up. Make sure that you go nice and slow. You don't want to mess up any of the hardscape. And also, even if the hardscape was solid, filling it up, you could also mess with any of the plants that you just worked on. So really take your time, be patient with this, and in the end, you'll really like the result. And you want to make sure that you keep misting the plants. It is going to take you some time to fill up the tank all the way. So until they're fully submerged, make sure they stay nice and wet. And of course, we prepped that water the night beforehand. We started it off with the Salty Shrimp GH+. You want to make sure it's only GH minerals, no KH, or else it'll neutralize that pH in the water and make that substrate absolutely pointless. And we mixed it up to 150 total dissolved solids. That is the optimal point that we found that is best for all of the Caridina shrimp here at the house. Then we're gonna add some Florinbacter 7. This is a liquid bacteria of 7 different strains. This is gonna help colonize the bacteria in those filters and maintain those low levels of nitrates and ammonia. And then we're gonna add some Florin Multi. This isn't just gonna help those plants grow and keep them nice and lush, but it's also going to help feed the bacteria in the filter to get that cycle going, and everything is gonna look really nice when it's all done. And then after the tank is all filled up with water, there is still a bunch of little tiny micro bubbles built up. We found that if you just give the counter a couple little taps, it gives a great effect where all the bubbles rush up to the surface. And now it's time for the filters. The first filter we're gonna add is the AquaL Pat Filter Mini. It's rated for 30 gallons. It's up to 105 gallon per hour flow. So it's definitely got more than enough for this aquarium, but we're not gonna stop there. But first we gotta get this one assembled. You wanna start off by sliding the backing onto the filter motor. You can only really slide it on one way. So if it's not on there nice and snug, you didn't do it right. And then you wanna add the suction cups, the pre-filter sponge guard, and then the flow guard itself. But we won't be needing the rest of these attachments, so just slide these off to the side. And then we're also going to upgrade the sponge with AquaL's Media Set replacement sponges. These are going to offer clear water, and they're a little bit more shrimplet safe with the pores being a little bit smaller. And then we already had a home in mind for this filter when we scaped out the tank, so that just slides right behind the hardscape in the back right corner. And then we just turn it on and then adjust the flow direction as needed. And then the next filter we're gonna add is the AquaL Turbo Filter 500, rated for 42 gallons and then has a flow rate of 130 gallons per hour. So start off, just unbox the filter and lay out all the pieces and get them nice and organized. And then we're just gonna go ahead and slide the flow attachments out of the way. We're not gonna be needing those right now. And then we're just gonna start off by adding the suction cups to the back of the filter and just put that off to the side and get that ready for later. Then go ahead and just take the basket off of the actual pump itself and put that to the side. Then you're gonna go ahead and take the media cartridge apart, open the bag, take the media out of the bag, put it back into the media cartridge, put the lid back on that, take the basket from the pump, put it on the bottom of the media cartridge, and then put the filter onto the bottom of that. Don't worry, the sponge is a little bit distorted right now, but it will pop back to its shape in no time and look good as new in just a few days. And then you can add the pump to the top of the media cartridge, add the backing onto that, and then you could go ahead and add on the flow nozzle. But hold on just a second. We have an AquaL spray bar attachment that we're gonna go ahead and put onto this filter for this tank. And now we just gotta turn on the filter, and the cycle has officially started for this tank. We're gonna let it run for 30 days before we introduce any shrimp into the aquarium. We'll do probably 2 water changes, 20 to 40%. We'll add in some more beneficial bacteria from the Florinbacter 7, as well as maybe a tiny amount of the Florinbacter, and then just keep that tank nice and clean until it's ready for shrimp.
All right, so there you have it for this video. It's not going to be it for this tank, however. We're going to let it run for 30 days, like I said. Then we're going to stock it with some beautiful Galaxy Pintos. Also, we've got the other aquarium that we're setting up right next to it. It is the Ultra 30 shrimp tank from AquaL, and we've already got the hardscape done. Already have all the plants in mind. It's going to be the next video to come out. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.